When we're doing finances, or we have a big problem, or just workload, trying to find a job, it's monumental. It's important to you. It may be important to you with your family. It's important to your life. It's just monumental. And sometimes there's obstacles. You can't find the right job. You can't find the correct job. You can't stay on the job. You got people after you all the time, hassling you, harassing. You may be online and people are doing things. You may be doing YouTube and people are doing things. They're pushing the unlike button. They're reporting you for no reason at all, just for jealousy. You don't have time maybe to do things with your family. You're trying to make a living. You're trying to get where you're going to get to have some success. You're trying to go for wealth and your family is taking your finances. You're trying to go for wealth and your friend is asking to borrow money all the time, or even sometimes a stranger. There's some things you just can't do. But we can chip away at what we are going to do. We got to remember that the mountains are calling and you got to go. Okay, it was by John Muir. He said that. He said, the mountains are calling and I must go. That means you must go to your destiny. You must pick up and get yourself together and your finances, even sometimes without any help, and pull yourself together, your life, whatever you have to do. You have to take time. It's not going to go fast. Some people, it may go quickly. They may have more money than you. They may have more stamina than you do on finding a job. Some people will walk hours and hours and go from job to job trying to find their place or looking for a job. You may not have the resources, but you have to figure out how to get those resources later on. You may be trying to pay off debt and it's not getting anywhere. Maybe in 3 or 4 months you haven't paid off one single debt. You've been trying to save and the money's going out and you're scared to put money on the debt because you may need it later on. And some of you have money in savings that we don't touch, of course, but is it better to put it on the debt and get it back later, not paying on that debt? Or is it better just to save it all up? That's up to you. That's up to the way you want to do it. You may want to save it all in savings challenges and then pay off all the debt at one time. You may want to save in a certain savings challenge and pay off part of a debt, all of one debt. It's a mountain that you have to climb. Those are the mountains. They are calling you and you must go. You must figure it out about what you have to do all the time. You remember the Titanic. That little iceberg, technically one little iceberg, put a gash in the Titanic and the Titanic went down. You can pay your bills just like that. You put one thing, focus on one bill and say, I'm going to pay that bill. It may be in little bitty amounts. I may be doing many challenges, dollar, but every time I'm going to work on that bill. And some of you can work on more bills. And some of you can work on, if you're trying to look for a job, I'm going to look for a job in this area and see what's going on and try to find that job. I'm going to try to do some seasonal work. I'm going to find something that's happy for me that I think I would enjoy. Hey, I like to be with pets. I like pets. So maybe you want to volunteer at a pet store, or maybe you want to go temporarily at like Chewy or PetSmart where they make food. It's got to be your passion sometimes to get some of you going. Some of you have big mountains to climb, okay? And those mountains, yeah, they're calling you. But there's also a good part of the mountains calling you that are beautiful, that are don't have obstacles in the way, so that you can have a wonderful life if you can get through the treacherous mountains. But you have to go. You can't just sit there, because what's going to happen, what would happen? Lawsuits, everything else, because you sat there. So you have to go. We all have to go. Now, some people are going to sit there. They're going to go through all that. They're going to blame everybody. You're going to blame your credit card. You're the one that got the credit card. You're the one that ran up the debt, right? So we have to pay that credit card back. They gave that money to you without anything going on. You may have had even a secured card where you put money down on it, and they gave you a credit line according to the money. Now, if you don't pay the card, what happens? They take the money to pay themselves back. Now, we can fuss all we want to, but do remember, when you make a debt, you did it. If you did whatever, buy here, pay here, if you did some other things, like a firm and whatever, you did it. That's number one. Take responsibility. Go to that mountain, that one mountain, and say, I'm taking responsibility. Okay, now, you got to figure out which card are you going to pay. Do you have enough to work on one card? Do you have enough to pay on several cards? Are you going to take maybe something from your savings and start paying down some of this so you can get a little more free, a little quicker? Or are you going to do something else? You got to come up with a strategy. You have to organize. You can't just sit there and go, well, I'll just pick this one. Okay, you may have picked the wrong card. And yes, there are issues with picking the wrong one you're going to pay, or the wrong bill you're going to pay. You have to look at interest rates now. Which one's causing the most problems? Which one, I'm like, which one's getting on my nerves? Okay, which one's like, it may not even be the highest card. It may be the middle card. Which one's getting on my nerves? Which one's causing me more interest? Which one's taking more money? Which one's always, you pay the card, pay the minimum payment, and they actually go up more on the next payment. Or the balance actually moves up. Have you had cards like that? You pay the payment that they told you to do. Let's take, I'm thinking $131. You may have owed over $3,000. It comes down for a little bit, and then they slam you with interest and things, and then it goes back over $3,000. Now you're over the limit, and now they want a payment. Then they got the nerve to tell you, okay, we'll give you do 108 maybe. Now they went below the payment from last time. You're all happy and everything. Oh, it's 108. It's 108. Look at the balance. Did it come down? No, you're still over the limit probably. We have to take things in accord. We have to pay attention. And some of you are still, we got into this because we spent. And we got into spending because America likes to spend. They want you to spend. The government wants you to spend. I keep telling you that when to beat inflation, you guys got to spend more money. Why? It looks like we would back up a little bit because we can't afford it. You can't afford it. You can't. We can't keep on this trail because a lot of people have already lost. They've lost their houses. They've lost their cars. Some of them have lost everything. Families, relationships, marriages have broken over the inflation. They're still losing. Some have to sell that house. It's not we want to sell it. We have to sell it. Some of them have been in their houses for over 40, 50 years, and all of a sudden, we got to get out of here. They're senior citizens. I got to get out of here. Insurance rates have went up. They've skyrocketed. Property taxes have went up. And then nobody has a reason for everything. If you call an insurance company, they will go, yeah, it went up. Well, because other people were having trouble in Florida and California. Personally, that's not our problem, but we got it. Some companies went into lawsuits with different things. Phone companies, whatever. Watch your phone company bill. Aren't they now moving things up? It's like, oh, this is 2 cents this month. 4 cents this month. They're slowly creeping up. Imagine if they charge 1 million people 2 and 4 cents every month. And one of the companies has already come back, the one I'm with, and said, they wanted you to sign up for automatic cash payments, right, out of your checking account. They've already come back with now, they usually give a $10 discount. Now we're coming back, oh, we're sorry, we're going to go down to $5 discount. Really, what's the sense in being there? Because they're trying to recoup their money from the lawsuit. They're still trying to get more money out of people. There's no rhyme or reason. Oh, management, administrative fees. I mean, even the 2 and 4 cents makes no sense, okay, of doing that. They do things like that and don't explain. They don't even tell their reps how to explain it. Like, well, it just went up. They don't know. They've masterminded this plan, and we are the victims of it. But you can't be a victim. Maybe you have to move to another phone company. Maybe you have to decide, okay, let me give you the message phone company. I'm going to go back to using my credit card. There's no sense in $5. I can spend $5 going down to McDonald's and getting a meal, the $5 meal. I don't need to deal with you. I can take the bunt. $10 really wasn't anything either. But we have to watch what we're doing. And we have to go through those little mountains to get to the top, the utopia, where we are not paying. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you're not going to always be debt-free. You're not debt-free. You still got bills. We got bills, but they're not like that. Not where all your credit cards are at the hilt. Not where you owe all these loans. Not where you owe all these pay here, buy here, go over here. Okay? You don't have them anymore. That's when you are free. You are free. Quit listening to people. You will be free. I feel better. I'm not free from my house, but I'm going to tell you, I'm better without all those credit cards doing that, because I know that I can go pick up, if I really need that credit card, I can go pick it up and use it. If a appliance goes down, I can go buy it and pay it off next month. If something happens to it, I can take a credit card and go pay for it to be fixed. I'm not sitting here with anxiety anymore going, we have no money. I literally had no money at the end, about the first week of the month all the time. First week of the month. Check came in, all the bills were paid. We literally had any money anywhere. The check was being absorbed into bills and credit cards and everything that we had used the previous month. And before that. And you have to come to that realization. I came to the thing, like, you have to get tired of it. Okay? If you got to get tired of it. You got to get tired of yourself. You got to get mad at yourself. And that's what I did. I got tired and mad that I had no money. Can't find $5, can't find $1. Have to keep going back to the same credit card. It never went down because you're still using them. Okay, how much is on that? How much is on that? Oh, we got $10 on that one. We can use that. You just got $10. See, you're going in circles. And it's not going to get any better. And the cards don't come down. And what happens? Your credit doesn't come down. Your credit score does not go up, because all you're doing is taking it in and out, really quick. And what I did, I got mad at myself. I said, this is stopping. And I said, I don't know how, but I'm stopping. And some people say, oh, you didn't have a hard time. See, you're looking at me now. Oh, I had a hard time getting through credit. We had no food. It was things going on that people knew nothing about because I wasn't talking. Our family does not spill our life out there. You hear my life more than everybody else does. But we just weren't talking to the normal person out here that was walking around or was at work. But we went through it. We pawned some things. We sold some things. Just trying to get something to eat. Just trying to get gas in the car. And I was angry. I was angry because my parents did not raise me that way. They did not do their finances that way. They always had money. They always had money to give me. I didn't have an allowance. If I needed something, it was paid. I didn't ask for anything. It may have been to go to the movie or something like that. I didn't ask for monumental things. I wasn't really into clothes or anything. I just didn't do it. But if it was there, they had it. They did it. They figured it out. And here I was trying to be like them. Oh, I can do this. But when you go off to college and everything else and get in your 20s and that little more money comes in, right? You start blowing it. Not having, the plan to get through it. And they recognized it. I remember my mom saying it was kind of like if you need help, but it was like, I know how to save money. That was her reaching out, saying, I already know you're in trouble. By then, I was embarrassed. I didn't even want to talk about it. Okay? I just went, okay, and went on out the room. But that was her way of reaching out. Like, if you need help, I know how to save money. You're in trouble. And I should have took that lifeline. But like I said, we don't think. We're not organized. And I wanted to prove that I could do better. Some of you have grown up in very harsh conditions. Your family didn't have enough money. And I don't even fuss about the single mom thing. That's just a myth they started long time ago with families that they didn't have the father. They were against the single family. Okay, and it was racial. It was like to up one culture and the other one's not good because they have a bunch of single families in there. Single mamas, single dads. So I don't even pay attention to that because I know a lot of single moms and they are not down there groveling. Okay, they're fine. But some of you have grown up in that type of thing, abusive, whatever, and it's affected you into adulthood. And what you have to realize, you can either take the lifeline that I should have took with my mom. My mom wasn't single mother, but take that lifeline. Maybe we need to go back and talk to mom. How did you get through? We were struggling, but what was you doing? Have that support, that bridge, okay, to help you out. Or maybe you need to talk. Maybe it's your brother or sister. Your sister does finances. She's not in debt all the time. What happened to you? Okay, go over there and talk. Not borrowing money. What can you help me figure this out? Let's talk a little bit. Let's get some coffee out. And maybe they're just a sounding board. Because usually people like that have struggled, they have a wealth of information that you may not even ask, and they don't want to mess with you, okay? They don't want to hear you fussing at them or saying something or bringing up the past really badly, and you don't want to talk to them. You're trying to make your own way, but you can't. Sometimes you have to go back to that past to pull it up. Or maybe it's something that you were doing. I was mad at myself. Okay, but I was determined that I was going to be like my parents. I'm going to get this money thing straightened out. And that's when I came with the cash stuffing. Now I don't really, now it's digital because I like credit cards. I grew up with credit cards. It's a lot easier to whip the credit card out, yes, but you have to be right there. Okay, and it was not good for me in the beginning. When I was struggling, you need to put them credit cards away. That's what I did. I put all my credit cards away. I was cash only. I didn't know who Dave Ramsey was. I listened, but I was like, who the heck is that? Because I knew the cash stuffing system came from grandparents. My parents did it. I found out my great-grandparents, I watched them. They did it. White envelope, boom, here we go. My grandmother had, and my great-grandmothers had them little jars. One had my name on it. Boom, okay? My parents' envelope had one for me. Boom. And saved money for me. But that did save me because it was in my binders. And then when I saw it, it was like, don't spend it. Put it in its department, okay? Department 1, gas. Department 2, what is it, a water bill. Just keep going, house payment. And once I got that together, then I pulled myself together. Then I went to the credit card. You got to pull that credit card away sometime if you are really having an issue. That's the only thing good about Dave Ramsey's beginning is cash. And it's good from our grandparents. Cash is king sometimes. They would do it when the bank, something would happen and they'd pull out all their money in the bank and wouldn't put it in there. Or they'd take their check and wouldn't deposit it till the bank because people, scammers were back in the day, they'd steal money, the tellers or whatever, and their bank wasn't balancing. So they just took cash out. Like, we're not doing that till that gets rectified. And it was so funny. The banks rectified real quick when that money came out of there. But if you are struggling and you're still using a credit card and you're still struggling, you may have to put them away. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I did. I had to put them away. And then I eased it back in there. Because I knew I had grew up with credit cards and I was daring myself to mess them up. I said, if you mess them up, you're going back to cash. They're too easy to deal with. Okay, you can just swipe that thing. Oh, I'll pay it next month. And then all of a sudden, here's this bill. And then if you got 2 or 3 more, there's a bill. Some of you had 10, 15 cards. There they are. Every one of them's up to the hilt or near the hilt. Or maybe one's paid off and then you go use it again and it starts banging back up while you're trying to pay off this one. We've got to be held accountable so that we can get to that mountain. The good mountain. The big, tallest mountain in the back of the other mountains. You got to get to your mountain. You got to stand up and sometimes tell yourself, I can't do this anymore. See, that's the hardest thing, telling yourself you can't do it. It hurts. It really hurts because you got to figure out, I can't do this anymore. I can't find a job the way I'm looking. I got to figure out how to do this. Maybe that temp agency isn't the right one. Maybe I need to go somewhere else. Even with your children, I can't deal with this child. What else can I do? In all aspects of your life, you always got to figure out there's that mountain we got to get to, and it's calling me, and I got to go. You can't stand back. If you stand back, you're going to lose everything. Now, a lot of people stood back and they lose everything. People lose houses because they stand back instead of fighting their way through this. I don't have the money. I don't blah, blah, blah. There's somebody somewhere, the lawyer somewhere, that you can pay. You may be on that phone trying to find it on the internet. Some of you still have phone books, you may be in there, but there's that lawyer that'll go, okay, I'll take your case. You can pay me later, or payments, or you don't have to pay me at all, pro bono. There's somebody somewhere. And everything doesn't work all the time. Everything just doesn't work. You can talk to people, you can do this and that. Some people have therapy, they talk and it's not getting anywhere. Find another place. Some of you will find no place because you're like my family. We don't deal with therapy. Our therapy is us. Okay? Our therapy is go to the family member and talk. That's your closest ally. They really, most of the time, they know what's going on. They just won't confront you about it. You may have been really confrontational and you don't know it. They may feel hurt from whatever happened in the past. They don't want to talk about it, and you have to get through that. And it helps them. You may think, oh, they don't want to remember that. Who are you fooling? You got to get to the mountain. It's calling. It's time to get out of debt. It's calling. It's say, come on. And you got to go. And you may go the wrong way. You may go through the mountain path. Oh, messed up. But if you don't go, you failed yourself. I told you, the only thing that is a failure, or if you're a failure, it's yourself. Yes, then you are a loser. You didn't even try to do it. And I'm not talking about gymnastics and stuff, whatever. I'm talking about life. The mountains are calling. Are you going to go? And are you going to try to get to the right path? And I know some of you have ups and downs. You spend a lot. And then all of a sudden, the next week, you're still spending, and you're still spending. You got to get mad at yourself so you can get to those mountains. Those are baby mountains. And some of them look big when you get near them because you've been spending. And maybe, you're taking small steps. Maybe you didn't spend for 5 days out of the month, but you overspent your budget. You have to congratulate yourself. You did do 5. No, it doesn't feel fantastic because you spent whatever over here. But you have to congratulate those small steps. Those were little mountain pebbles you went and did. And still these big ones to go. And like I said, when people are having trouble like that, the no spend thing and the credit card thing, if it's called because of credit cards, they sometimes, all that needs to be put in a drawer somewhere with a lock and key, or give it to a family member and go, a trusted family member, watch out. If you don't trust nobody, don't give it to them. You'll be in worse shape because they'll take it and go do something. But you have to take those steps. And some of you are having trouble even with family members. You're over there, they live over here. Sometimes mom and dad do things, or grandpa, grandma, sister, brother, and you've been taking care of them. You give them $300, blah, 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 maybe a month, and really you don't have it. And instead of coming to terms and telling them, because they're confrontational, what do you mean you don't have it? They've gotten used to that money instead of them figuring out a way to get where they got to go. And I'm not saying don't stop, but you got to work that into your budget if you're going to continue to do it. Or maybe you just don't have enough to get where you got to go. And sometimes you got to open your mouth. Sometimes you got to open your mouth with people that live with you. They're not contributing like they're supposed to. Maybe they're supposed to be paying, maybe they should be paying monthly, and you have slacked on the ball and went, no, you're just here for a little while. No, and then it becomes years, and they still don't exactly contribute. They contribute nothing. They're just here. going to your bathroom, doing this. You're paying the water bill, you're paying the electric bill, paying the house payment, blah, 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 and groceries, everything, and you haven't pushed because, see, there's your mountain that you didn't get over. That big stone is them. So either you had to pick up, and it could be a family member, they do that too, or it could be a friend's son, whatever, daughter, but they've gotten comfortable. They're not moving on, helping you to do anything. You're paying everything out the wazoo. There is your mountain. It's time to climb maybe your mountain. Figure it out and tell them, look, I can't do this. Either you're going to contribute fully by giving you a check every day, or money, not every day, every month, or when you get paid a certain amount. You had to add up your finances and say, this is how much you cost compared to everybody else, and do it. That's your mountain. Some of you, the spending mountain. Your mountain may be that credit card. Your credit cards are mountains. And you will always stay where you are if you do not go to the mountain. They're calling you. You got to go. So take care. Enjoy yourself. Praying for you always. Bye-bye.